Between walls, the back wings of the hospital, where nothing will grow, lie cinders in which shine the broken pieces of a green bottle.
Love that guy. Dave, do you want to do your Williams imitation?
Please.
It sounds like Myron Cope, the announcer for the Steelers, with a nasally voice.
Great. A profane analogy.
Green bottle.
The back wings of the hospital where nothing will grow lie cinders in which shine the broken pieces of a green bottle. He'd suffered the second of his strokes, and so he emphasizes the words because he's actually got to get his mouth to do it. Anyway, Julia, why is that a good one to bring up?
Well, I love this poem because it's about something that doesn't usually appear in poetry, just a piece of broken glass in a trashed alley. And in the video discussion for this poem, we talk a lot about all the different things the images in this poem could mean. What are the wings? Are they the wings of a bird? Are they more than the wings of a building? Are they the wings of the poem?
It does look a little like a winged poem.
Yeah, so there's all this incredible resonance and allusion, but it's also a very stripped down, very basic, very plain poem. And it's an interesting one for this discussion because it's a poem that describes something that's literally broken, but the poem itself is kind of broken into all of these shards.
Anna, you're nodding. Do you have any thoughts about this in addition to what Julia just said?
No, I'm with Julia. I think one of the coolest things about it is that visually the poem does perform what it's talking about. It's not just that the actual language of the poem is fragmented and broken. It's that like visually you look at it and you see this kind of broken up thing.
Yeah, cool. Anybody else want to add to that? How about a response to the chicken and egg question about the poem in society? Is Williams just looking out the window and describing a fragmented society, a society of trash and cinders, or is he inventing here? Kristen, what's your thought?
I don't think that he's just reflecting back what he sees in society. I think he is inventing a bit, especially because he's drawing the distinction so much between the fact that nothing will grow in the cinders except for this broken bottle, and he's making us see the broken bottle as something shining, something generative, more than natural images would be. Yeah.
I think I like that, Dave.
I think the word shine is key to that because it is a piece of glass that reflects, and he could have said reflect, like reflecting society, but no, this shines. That gives it sort of an active component.
Yeah.
There was an interesting thread about this poem on the discussion forums too. I'm forgetting who started it, but was comparing this poem to Dickinson's poem, which uses the word trinket, and the idea that you could look at something broken and trashed and call it a trinket. A trinket is something kind of precious, but kind of cheap, but kind of shiny at the same time.
Yeah. Yes. So, hello. I've forgotten your first name though. Eric. Can you get the mic to Eric? And while Eric's getting the mic, I want to say something about this. I think what people up here are saying is that the difference in Williams is that he's turning. It's a turn. Rather than saying, woe is us, we live in a shitty, fragmented, garbagey society and everything is ugly and poetry is impossible, he's saying, poetry is now possible, but it's a different kind of poetry, right? And in a way, the idea that the wings of the back wings might be the wings of this weird-looking poem that goes down the page and has little long lines and short lines, that it's almost wing-like, takes us back to the concrete poetry of George Herbert, who in fact wrote a poem called Wings, or Angel's Wings, in which the poem looks like wings. And when you think about the fact that he is making a concrete poem, it's possible that this is a concrete poem, which is really new, except that George Herbert did it, so it's not really new. It's possible that he's embracing the aesthetics of the concrete. I mean concrete in all its senses. He's looking at this crappy, grassless macadam, and it's concrete. He lives in a concrete jungle, and he makes something grow in the concrete jungle. Up with the concrete jungle. This is where we live. This is who we are. Please, Eric.
I love the positivity of your reading of this
poem. You mean my
poem.
Optimism?
Yes, I do think.
Did you say love?
I do.
Thank you.
I'm persuaded by it, but I have to tell you.
I knew a but was coming.
Yeah,
but I have to tell you, that's the most British turn, rhetorical turn that you could possibly have done. But I have to tell you.
Right. So my initial reading of this poem was considerably different, because this is a broken bottle in a hospital in a waste space where there is no care. And the things that we expect in a hospital are care. And so to me, yes, there's certainly the beauty of the glittering glass, but there's also the sense that here in the space where we most hope for care is the possibility of that fragility either of our bodies or of the bottle being broken.